What up guys, Sage God today I'm to make a new what if Naruto was a neglected genius part 1. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, it will help my channel grow. And without any further ado, let's get into the what if. So we're going to start off this what if by going to the hideout when Naruto was being born. So in this what if, Naruto is not going to be born alone, he's going to be born with two siblings, Menma and Mito. So after they were born, his wife or the doctor was taking them away in order to clean them, but when she was taking them away, she was killed, and the children were taken hostage by the masked man or Obito. So Obito showed up and said to Minato, step away from the Jinchuriki or the kiss die. So Minato had no choice but to comply with Obito's request. So Minato stepped away, and when Minato stepped away from Kushina, Obito threw the babies in the air, and Minato teleported to the babies, and he saw that the blanket or the thing that they were covered with in order to keep them warm, it was rigged with paper bombs. So Minato had to teleport out, because if that thing explodes, it's going to make the Hara collapse, and it might hurt Kushina. So after Minato teleported out of the hideout, he took the babies to a safer place and then rushed back. But when he returned to the hideout, he found out that the Nine Tails was already released. So Minato took his wife and took her to where the babies was and proceeded to fight Obito. So in this story, or at this time, I'm going to say that Minato here fights with Obito and wins very fast, and Obito had to retreat because he was injured. So Minato had to deal with the Nine Tails now. Kushina tells Minato that she can help him by putting up the barrier. So Minato took Kushina to where the Nine Tails was, and they proceeded to put up a barrier so that the Nine Tails couldn't rampage anymore. So after that, Minato prepared to save the village by risking his life. But this time I'm going to say that Hiruzen managed to convince Kushina that let him do the rebirth sales to save the village, because he's already old and the village needs Minato. So at this time I'm going to say that Hiruzen is the one who's going to perform the death reversal. But here we're going to change a few things, because when Hiruzen did the death reversal, he's going to split up the Nine Tails chakra. He's going to split up 40%, and he's going to put the 40% into Minato's daughter and 50% into Minato's son, and the remaining 5% is going to be put in Kushina. They were just experimenting to see if they put the 5% in Kushina, is she going to live or is she going to die? But it was a success, and Kushina didn't die, and the thing that was left, it was the Nine Tails soul or the Nine Tails spirit. So the Nine Tails soul or spirit is going to put inside Naruto in order to contain it, so that the Nine Tails doesn't disappear, because they think that if the Nine Tails soul is sealed in Hiruzen and he dies, things are not going to go well, because the Nine Tails chakra, so for that the Nine Tails chakra is going to disappear, and the leaf wouldn't have the tail beast in order to protect them. So after that, we're going to where Naruto was like 4 years old, and he's just sitting there while watching his two siblings playing with their parents, or with his parents too, and Naruto just sitting there looking sad. Naruto wants to approach the family, or he wants to approach his siblings to play with them, but he was given a strict order that if he ever approaches them while they're playing, he's going to be eaten up, because after Naruto got the Nine Tails soul, it was like the village didn't know what happened. Sorry guys, I had to pause. So after Naruto got the Nine Tails soul, the villagers were told that Menma and Mito had the Nine Tails chakra and Naruto has the soul. So people thought that Naruto had the soul of the demon inside of him. So they started to resent Naruto, and the thing that made matters really well was because Kushina hated Naruto because he was born with whiskers, and the other children weren't born with whiskers. So guys, if I make mistakes, I do not speak English as my home language. So Kushina hated Naruto because he was born with whiskers and the other two children were not born with whiskers, and she thought that Naruto might be the spawn of the Nine Tails. So she resented Naruto even more after he got the soul of the Nine Tails, because she thinks is the reincarnation of the Nine Tails or something to the Nine Tails. So she doesn't want to treat Naruto as a son. She treats the two siblings as a daughter and a son, only Menma and Mito. So Naruto is just sitting there, and the thing that made Naruto's life even worse is that when Naruto was 5 years old, because now we're going to time skip to when Naruto was 5 years old, when Jiraiya came in and he told Minato and Kushina this news that there is a prophecy, and the prophecy says that there's going to be two people who are going to save the world, and these two people will surpass the sage of 6. And Minato automatically thought that this might mean that Mito might be the child of prophecy, because Jiraiya thought that Minato, while Menma and Mito were not born, he thought that Minato might be the child of prophecy. But this new prophecy saying that two people that might be the child of prophecy, or the children of prophecy, who knows. So Minato thought that maybe it meant Menma and Mito, and after being told this news, Minato proceeded to start training Menma and Mito, and Naruto thinking that maybe his parents would like indulge him this time and just play with him or do something with him. Naruto asked his father for training, but this was a wrong move. When Naruto asked his father for training, Minato just said, "Okay, Naruto, I'm going to train you." And Naruto said, "Yay!" and he was very excited. But what Naruto didn't know is that Minato had an ulterior motive. He wanted to make Naruto never ever ask him for something ever again. So Minato asked Naruto that, "Naruto, can you do hand-to-hand combat?" Naruto said, "No, I haven't tried it." And Minato said, "Okay, let's do it. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to fight." Sorry guys, I had to pause. So I left off where I was saying that Minato wanted to train Naruto in hand-to-hand combat. So Minato said, "Naruto, today we're going to train you in hand-to-hand combat, and let's start practicing some punches." So Minato said, "Naruto, punch me as hard as you can." Naruto threw a punch, but it was weak. It didn't even do nothing to Minato. So Minato said, "No, Naruto, not like that. I want to show you something. I want to show you a real punch." So Minato infused his fist with chakra and punched Naruto, and this punch sent Naruto flying. And when Naruto, let's say that he hit the fence, and the fence like stopped his fall or flying. So when Naruto hit the fence, he puked out blood, or he spit out blood, because he was really hurt. And Minato was looking at him with look of disgust. So Naruto, after that day, he didn't even dare to ask for anything. He just ate, went to play in the playground, and that didn't make life easier, because when Naruto was going out to play, sometimes the villagers might brutally beat him up to the point where Naruto has to like beg for his life. And these beatings that Naruto gets is not like a normal beating. They beat him to an inch of his life, to the point where Naruto passes out. And when he wakes up, he just goes home, and Kushina and Minato don't question this. They think that Naruto is a monster, and they don't care. And you guys might be wondering, why does Minato hate Naruto? Kushina managed to convince Minato that Naruto is evil. So Kushina managed to convince Minato that Naruto is evil. So now we're going to time skip to when Naruto is 6 years old, and here we see a young Naruto going home. And when he opens the door, Kushina and Minato are waiting there sitting. And when Naruto was about to pass them and go to his room, they stopped him and said, "Naruto, come here. We've been thinking about this, and you are not even improving in your fighting skills." And Naruto was confused because they never trained him in any like type of combat skills, or they never trained him and or showed him how to fight. That was what I was trying to say. So Naruto was confused. What were they talking about? So Naruto, not wanting to get a beating, just sat down and listened to what they had to say. So Kushina started, "Naruto, today we're going to like give you a house to stay in, or even a house like an apartment." So Naruto was given the keys to an apartment so that Naruto could live alone. The reason that Kushina gave Naruto was that Naruto is immature and he needs to live by himself in order to grow up. So Naruto just accepted this and went to the apartment that he was given because he didn't want to get a beating or killed, because sometimes they beat him to the point that Naruto thinks that he was going to die, but they wouldn't take it too far because they know that Naruto has the soul, and if the soul disappears, the Nine-Tails chakra goes away. So Naruto is given an apartment. He has to move out, so Naruto moves out. So Naruto has to move out. After moving out and going to his new apartment, something in Naruto breaks. Naruto started resenting his family because they did all those horrible things to him, and Naruto, while living in the Uri or the Namikaze household, Naruto didn't resent his parents. He thought that maybe they will change, and after this, Naruto just kind of snapped, and he decided that he doesn't care for them. He doesn't give a damn what happens to them. So Naruto decided to train and get stronger so that he can protect himself against the villagers, against his siblings, against his father, against his mother. So Naruto decided to go to the library and find like a book that is some kind of ninja skills that he could train or emulate. So Naruto decided to go to the library and find like a basic book showing like a few taijutsu techniques, and Naruto like took that book from the library and went home and started reading the different types of taijutsu. So Naruto, after doing that, he wanted to Naruto, after reading the book, he decided to like train using the knowledge that he learned on the book. He decided to use those techniques in real life. So Naruto decided to start training his body because he doesn't want like to know that these techniques work, and he wants to strengthen his body and use those techniques to defend himself. So Naruto started training every day, training, and after like 4 months of training, Naruto's body was pretty toned, and Naruto could like take much anything. He could take most of the beating from the villagers. Naruto's body is stronger, but Naruto at this point he could not protect himself that much. He could like beat up one adult if that person tried to beat him up, but a group of them, it's another story because he is just trained for 4 months. So Naruto, after like training for 4 months, even if a group of like adults from the village try to beat him up, they are not going to do damage to Naruto. They're not going to hate Naruto that much like they used to do. Naruto could take it. So Naruto saw that this training is paying off, and he reduced the amount of pain that he feels if he gets jumped by the villagers. So Naruto decided to continue training, and he decided to look up the book on chakra. He saw that people in this world, or people, have different types of chakra natures. So Naruto found out that people have different types of chakra natures. So Naruto decided to read on chakra more and find out what type of chakras do people have. We found out that people had fire, wind, earth, and water. So Naruto wanted to know how he could see what chakra type or he has. So Naruto read up that you can find out your chakra nature by using a special piece of paper, and if the paper gets cut up, you will have wind. Sorry for that. So Naruto found out that if the paper bends, it is fire. If the paper gets cut up in pieces, he has wind. If the paper crumbles, he has earth. If the paper gets wet or soaked, he has water. So Naruto wondered where he could find these papers, and one day when he was working, he just saw an old man selling these papers. He said, "Find out your chakra nature today by buying these chakra papers, and you could see if you have chakra or not." Naruto decided to buy these papers, and when he touched it and he infused this chakra into it, the paper suddenly gets wet and it gets cut into pieces, and the other corner crumbles. So Naruto at this point, he has 3 chakra natures, and he decided to train on them. So we're going to time skip to where Naruto is like 8 years old, and now Naruto is going to be enrolled at the academy. So if I'm not mistaken, last time when I was doing the time skip, I said Naruto was 6 years old and he trained for 4 months, and he could reduce the amount of pain he felt when the villagers were attacking him. So this time Naruto is 8 years old and he has been training for that whole time. So Naruto is studying at the academy. And guys, this is where I'm going to end it off. I hope you like this what if. Peace.